To talk about starts to become a little bit more challenging for the student. We are going to try to cut up a sentence strip using syllables and two different syllable words. As I'm cutting, you can have the students either try to sound it out as you go. You can have the students clap. Sometimes you teach the students to clap out the syllables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to use the same sentence that Sally has already created for us. And the sentence is as follows. We are walking to see the fat donkey. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut up these strips. This is going to be syllables. We have to find some words in here that might be 2 syllables long. Now this is a pretty basic sentence, so there's only really going to be about 2 words that have a syllable, 2 syllables in them, and I'm going to cut them apart, and we will see if Sally is able to figure out what 2 words have 2 syllables. So Sally, today in your sentence strip, there are words that have 2 syllables. When you get to those 2 syllables, see if you can clap out those syllables.
We are walking.
Fantastic. That was 2 syllables. Can you put those together?
Walking to see the fat donkey. Donkey.
So which two words in our sentence had 2 syllables?
Walking and donkey.
Very good. What we are going to do now is we are going to cut up a story in the part of 1 syllable words. Now with 1 syllable words, you can't really have a student clap them out unless you just want them to clap once because there's not much to clap out. This is very similar to how we started. I'm actually only going to be cutting the words into each chunks, and we're going to work through figuring out which words have 1 syllable in them and which words had 2 syllables in them. As you can see, the teacher does all of the cutting, and a teacher also writes a sentence for the child. That way it is more teacher-directed instruction. So prompt would be, Sally, today we have a sentence strip that is cut up into syllables. I would like you to figure out how many syllables are in each word as you start putting the things together. There are 2 words already identified that have 2 syllables, so now your job is to figure out 1 syllable. Go ahead, Sally. See if you can figure out which ones have 1 syllables. If you need to, you can clap or you can tap your hands to figure them out.
We has 1. We are 1. Walking. Walking has 2.
Great.
2, 1 syllable. See, 1 syllable. The, 1. Fat, 1. And donkey has 2.
So as you can see, the student was able to successfully identify 1 syllable and 2 syllable words by putting the sentence back together. And the last one we're going to talk about today is called Clusters of Letters They Know. This one, the teacher's job is to cut off some words, maybe cut the words in the middle, and we are going to see if the student is able to maybe spell the words or if the student is able to put the words together, because they're going to be in clusters of letters that they know. I'm going to cut up we. I'm going to maybe cut up the A and the R and the E because the student should know how to spell the word R. It's a high frequency word. I'm also going to cut up walking due to the fact that we have previously talked about that word. And then we're going to cut donkey into different segments here. And again, you want to come back into your surface and you want to make sure that everything is spread out so that the student is able to see all of the different parts of your sentence strip. And as I'm talking to the student, I would say, Sally, today we're getting into a little bit more challenging sentence strip. This is the same sentence that we have been working on. However, I cut some of the words apart. I'm going to ask you to see if you can put them back together by using what you know. You know how to spell all of these words. Some of the words are cut in half, some of the words are just cut single, So it is your job to see if you can figure out what clusters of letters you already know to put your sentence together.
Okay. We are
How did you know that I cut that word apart?
I know that to spell R, you need A-R-E. So I put A-R and E together to make R.
Good.
We are walking. Walking to see.
How did you know that those two went together?
I know the word see, if you stretch it out, it says see. And those are the letters I need to make C. We are walking to see the fat donkey.
And how did you know those two went together?
We did the 2 syllables with our sentence strip earlier, and donk-e went together to make donkey.
Very good. As you can see, there are many different methods to using sentence strips. You'll be able to gauge your students and see how well they are able to do on your sentence strips. You might want to start out easy like we demonstrated in the video,